Greetings to all of you. My name is TIbor Putnoki. I was born on October 1st in 1946. My parents were deported because they were well-to-do. As a result, I grew up in a state-run foster home, growing up without faith or love. This was a determining factor in my life, since while I was growing up, I had felt a deep sense of inferiority. Since I had no other alternative, I found refuge in the library, where I felt true freedom in the presence of books. This way, based on my good grades, I was selected to be a sportsman. I became a stunt pilot. This opportunity allowed me again to feel personal freedom, although the more I excelled, the more pressure weighed down on me. I had an accident and was taken to a hospital in Budapest. This was the first time in my life that I received special treatment due to the fact that I grew up in a foster home. 12 Jewish professors came to my help and accepted me as their own child. I suddenly found myself with 12 fathers, which was worse than not having a father at all. However, they did eventually guide me towards becoming a chef, a profession which would allow me not to go hungry. I underwent 9 ear surgeries within 3 years, and now have an artificial eardrum and a built-in hearing aid. While in the hospital, I met a nice nurse who was from the countryside. I asked her to marry me, and luckily for me, unfortunate for her, she accepted. I moved to the countryside and started to learn how to live a normal human life in a community as an honest and decent man. Since my adoptive parents were my mother-in-law and father-in-law, they became my parents as well and taught me about life. I learned a great deal from living my daily life in the countryside. It was here that I was injured while trying to save my colleague's life by pulling him out from under some machinery. It was me who ended up in the hospital, paralyzed with a dislocated spine. It was at this point that I gave up on life, not wanting to live as an invalid. My young daughter came to my rescue by asking me, "Daddy, won't we ever wrestle again?" Well, I just couldn't tell her no. The look in her eyes and her words gave me the strength to get back on my feet and prove that even a disabled person can have a meaningful life. As I proved to myself again that I could get back on my feet, I received another dramatic slap in the face from life, as if something were directing me. I ended up in the hospital. From then on, it was in one hospital and out the other, undergoing lung surgery, which resulted in throwing off my blood pressure. Having it reach over 290, I ended up in ICU. Yes, I always feared death. I was afraid of what will happen, just like any other human being. This was the point at which I came face to face with death, a very beautiful experience. I, along with all those who have experienced being at death's door, we all say that we only reached the threshold of death, but we did not die. We only got to the point between the state of being and non-being. In my case, this lasted for 9 minutes. I lived through many things, along with tens of thousands of my fellow near-death experiencers who were touched by light and love. Living through a near-death experience, in effect, its message or the climactic moment was watching a film of your own life unrolling in front of your very eyes. Past, present, future, all in one, seeing every moment, every deed, and your every thought. Then I thought to myself, this must be the phenomenon known as Christian's hell. Having to face your transgressions, seeing and feeling again and again where you went wrong. In all my life, my conscience was never so strong as then. There was no one next to me, only God behind me as a support, who watched over me, but I was the judge all throughout, as if pursuing a criminal, accounting for my bad deeds as well as for some good ones. Seeing how your life had no value, you weren't living as a human being. There was no nice way to put it. My life was a failure. I was awaiting my sentence so that I could atone for my sins, and then I would be relieved. Nothing could be worse after that. But how wrong I was. The film starts rolling again, and I am seeing the relationships I had with other people, and it became even more painful to watch. Seeing, feeling what they lived through, what they felt when I hurt them, when I made fun of them, when I ridiculed them, and then feeling their pain and suffering, knowing that I caused all of that, my actions and faults, again and again. Then a thought ran through my mind. My God, people need to be told not to live this way. My God, people need to be told not to act like this. The film keeps rolling, and much to my surprise, the greatest and worst sin was not when I hurt others or when I hated them, but rather when I was indifferent, having no empathy for their pain and grief, nor for their spiritual and physical pain. Just experiencing that over and over again, seeing that you are not alone, seeing that there's always someone there to help you in life. However, I was blind and deaf. Finally, the film ends. I await my punishment. Yes, I am now going to atone for my sins because I deserve to. A voice speaks within me, around me. There is nothing wrong. You can make amends for all your sins. There is nothing wrong. You can make amends for all your sins. Suddenly, all seems so distant, returning on the path. I believe that it may be thanks to God's love that I feel no pain. I just see what's in front of me. Yes, below I see the bed, the body on it, and over it, the doctor. The doctor is still sitting there next to the bed, with his head bent down, his arms hanging on his sides. And what is shocking is how much rage, hate, and anger was within him, which I had personally never experienced. He was angry and furious at himself, admonishing and hating himself. I am worthless as a human being, as a doctor, if I am unable to save his life. If I lose the patient, what am I worth? That really hurt. But it wasn't his fault. He couldn't help it. There was the body, and it was quite a bad feeling to think that I need to occupy that body again. No, there's no way. I'm definitely not going back there, where there's flesh, blood, and filth. No way. He says nothing. He is by my side. I can't describe how he looked like. A bright light, like that of the sun, which shines and smiles. I now felt that he was only smiling and shining on me, and on no one else, with a beautiful smile. So now, how can I tell him no? I just can't tell him no. Yes, as I am trying to maneuver myself back into the body, while not touching the flesh or blood, as someone who wakes up and rolls over, saying, "Assign me a task, give me work." Yes, at that moment I felt that whatever he would ask of me, I would do it. Assign me a task. and I see the splendor of the light, the smile more beautiful, and he softly says, "Be happy." But what is my task, my work? Be happy. I thought this would be the world's easiest task, but how wrong I was. Then I kept hearing his voice, softly saying, "This is the new commandment. This is the new commandment." Yes, I understood later that it was the commandment of love. He repeated the commandment of love over and over again. Love your neighbor as yourself. However, these two make up the one task. Later, once I had physically regained consciousness, as my wife Piroska says, I changed 360 degrees, because from that moment on, I consciously began to value and honor life and love. Yes, not death, but life. It is true that I no longer fear death, since it is but a corridor, a staircase leading to another world. But I am living on earth, in this world of ours. I must live as a worthy human being. This experience inspired me to start something with my life. I didn't know how, since I grew up without faith and its related knowledge. I wasn't interested in any other scientific branch but that of astronomy and studying maps. Everything that we experienced, all that I experienced along with so many thousands of people like me, was so that we could spread the word that nothing is more important than living life based on love, and it is crucial that we speak about just that. If nothing else, having lived through the near-death experience, those 9 minutes, it was so that I could genuinely share and speak about what I learned and understood from this event in my life. Since I had no faith, I needed to understand that what I brought back with me from the other side of death was not just a force, but a sense of inner security, which wasn't just mine, and which I needed to pass on to others. I struggled a great deal, and I truly admire my wife Piroska for standing by me. My life didn't change from one day to the next. It took a long time. We endured and survived the daily challenges, as I had become a different person. I was once a very cheerful-natured man, talkative, and always finishing conversations by joking. Afterwards, when a serious subject would come up in a conversation, everyone noticed how much I had changed, and they couldn't accept the person I had become. On the other hand, my life now had a new meaning. Before, I was concerned with making a living and prospering, but love became my main focus from the moment my life changed. However, love must be shared and passed on to others. One cannot experience love alone. My wife has been my greatest help, as well as her friends and acquaintances. I was introduced to different social groups, and I witnessed other people speaking about love in some way, about helping others, but something was missing from within me. These were all just words, but then I received a calling from the heavens, or rather from my inner soul, to take on a conscious mission based on action. It is not enough to just speak about love. One must live it, since it can't be experienced alone. We each must act. That is why we established and named our foundation the Light of Love. But we must pass on the light and active love. This is how I have been living my life ever since. Many people have special gifts, not just me. Every person has unique abilities. I didn't want to be anything else, just Tibor, an ordinary, everyday man who uses simple language. I just wanted to speak clearly with everyone about my personal mission, in a simple and understandable way, which would be well received by anyone. I avoided many people whom I couldn't comprehend because of the way they spoke. They spoke in such a way as to present themselves seeming greater or more intelligent than they were. I believe that those 9 minutes shed light on the existence of deep knowledge and very deep love in every human being, and what is even greater, people having special gifts which they are not even aware of or think they can even possess. So then, what should my task be? My task is to seek out and find partners and to speak to them about how I see my own life. Every person considers what is important in their life, sets goals, and sacrifices their health in order to reach them. Every person wants to attain something, and once they have achieved their goals, they actually become purposeless. What should you do? Meet expectations or feel obligated to meet them? I answered by saying, thanks, but no thanks. I know that it is difficult, and it will be even more difficult to have people accept that they need to stop. You have but one life, and you play the leading role in your life. Don't play the supporting role in your life. Not only should you be playing the leading role, but also the director's role in your life. Simply start with everyday people, partners. I have never wanted, in any shape or form, to advertise what I'm doing. Our message needs to reach people one by one, from heart to heart. Otherwise, what we are doing is meaningless. I slowly began to meet with people and speak to them. Fortunately, the doctor who saved my life gave me moral support and did not dismiss me. That is how we could reach the point of establishing our foundation. The main objective of our foundation is to offer help free of charge to anyone and to give the opportunity for people to not only attend talks, not only see others' abilities, but to have people discover and find their own inner talents, so that in turn they can also help others, not just receive help themselves. Every person should prove to him or herself that they can help others, and the greatest surprise is that the weakest, the most vulnerable, or the sickest a person was, the more positive energy they felt when realizing that they were also capable of helping others. In the process, they recovered and regained their health while helping others in need. My journey led me to establishing the Revital Foundation, followed by my personal meeting with Professor Moody, whose published volumes include my personal story as well, and who was taken by my near-death experience, encouraging me to start giving public lectures. As of now, I have given more than 980 public lectures. I literally started to meet persons by persons, and what I am so proud of is that more and more people stood by me, young people also, who appreciated hearing my message, not about me being valuable as a person, but about their inner qualities and knowledge, and how together we should discover how to make them great through helping others. Yes, people have goodwill in their hearts and the desire to help others. We started off first with 33, and have reached several thousands of people in many countries, but we have truly remained simple, everyday people to this day. But this is not enough, and we can't stop here. These days, more and more people need to be reminded of their inner qualities, since people's psychological problems are increasing, resulting in emotional trauma. A doctor may prescribe medication, a psychologist might console the patient with kind words, but when someone comes up to you and says, "Look, this is what I experienced. Look, this is what I have lived through. Let's see where we can take this." Therefore, this is what I am doing. It became clear to us that this is the path we need to continue on. In the beginning, we, or rather I, might have seemed strange to other people. People realized that I don't wish to profit from my lectures, that I only wish to tell my story and to share the message with others, that you can be happy and you can make others happy while doing just that. So words are not enough. You have to show people that what you know isn't dead knowledge. A library needs to be read. You should share your library, open it, read it, but don't just read it, put it into action. Show people that if they act, it will bring them a sense of joy, and yes, glory too, because they feel they've done something and that they feel valuable. Many people feel worthless. Although it doesn't require much effort, you don't need to save the world. Just do good for yourself and others. The activities of our foundation are based on nothing else but taking a human approach to helping others and touching people's lives, establishing contact with people. What makes our foundation so great? It's because every one of our members acts voluntarily to do good for others, hearts reaching out to hearts, purely out of love. Between 14 and 17,000 persons receive complimentary massages from our team members on a yearly basis. Our message is to speak about how wonderful life is, and I'm so proud of our members. Since there are several thousands of them, having visited many countries, with still many more left to discover. We are being asked to join foundations like IAN's, who also wish to take an active part in spreading love among all people. I do believe that sooner or later we will succeed in spreading love all over the world, like an epidemic, touching each person at all ends of the earth. Our foundation, based on a voluntary principle, has as its greatest aim to act out of love and nothing else, not for financial gain or professional advancement. To have people experience the beauty of touching each other's lives, giving words of encouragement, warm smiles, showing that their lives matter and have value. Our members represent a mixture of young and old, and luckily for me, more and more young people are joining our foundation. Wherever we go, our message is always, people, stop and start to love. Yes, we have a foundation, and yes, it is important to me. But what about to others? Maybe not. What is really important, though, is how we live and how we act in our lives. It is easier to function within a structure, a mold which is suited to you, not requiring you to alter yourself to fit the structure. The point remains that the only way to reach people is through an open and pure heart. I believe and proclaim that our foundation has a future because its main purpose is simply to give a helping hand to those in need, encouragement, warm smiles, which each one of us can offer from within ourselves. This is why I am certain about our foundation's future. I am but a small flame amongst our members, with the intention to simply show the light of love and have it reach many people's hearts. But there are other people with actual torches of light within their hearts who can change our tomorrows to a brighter future. I have been asked by different religious denominations, what is my faith? I believe in God, but that is just my faith. It doesn't matter what I believe in. What matters is whether you believe in yourself, you as a human being. Can you trust yourself? And if you can, how do you see yourself? Do you dare look at yourself in the mirror, honestly and with a clear conscience? Because if I am able to get one or two persons to do just that, then that would be true glory, a real accomplishment, and nothing else. The only thing I can promise to anyone is that you can do good for yourself. And how? Come and let me tell you. You must know that you are a valuable person and that you have to find your own path. I can show you different techniques. I can tell you how I went about it or how others have in helping people, but that's not enough. Search, and once you find it, continue on your path. I never tell anyone to follow me, but rather that we should look together in one direction, in the same direction of happiness, love, human decency. When you take a step, let us not step at once. You proceed as you can, I proceed as I can, the way my inner force drives me. You move ahead your way, and we are going together in one direction. We might not arrive at the same time, but there will always be those who are ahead of you, along your side, and behind you. There will always be someone next to you too, and you see that your life has a different goal. Seeing those people whom you have helped, how their eyes glow, it's wonderful. So I decided to start doing massages for people because I discovered that the sense of touch is an amazing thing. Words don't have the same impact as when you touch someone, and how you touch a person matters. That is why we developed a unique technique which allows us to reach people, and we also empower them to learn this method and see in turn how they can help others and not only be helped themselves. It is through deeds that we can touch people, since the person giving a refreshing massage is making the effort to do good. Through doing good, these people will strengthen their personal self-esteem and as a result can gain other people's trust. It is a wonderful feeling for me to know that those people whom I have helped get started on their path in life are now all ahead of me and have found their purpose in life. Many of those people are now moving forward on the path, the one which I had originally started to stumble on. When giving talks at different locations linked to religious affiliations, I always ask myself the question, during and after the lectures, how real is my authenticity? What makes my story genuine? In my opinion, my personal story is authentic because all I want is to simply present myself. I don't want to color or illustrate what happened with me. I just want to share what I experienced and felt, conveyed in simple words. And one more thing, I boldly dare to show my happiness, my tears, my feelings, my laughter, these emotions which are all part of me. This is how we can reach people and touch their hearts. Maybe all those who have lived through this same experience can recognize the reality of what they have learned and gone through. Therefore, we can all follow. We can take the light, the smile, the happiness to others, because so little is needed. A caress, a consoling thought, a smile, and all is better for that person to brighten his or her day. It is of course possible that life might bring pain, sadness, and suffering along the way. I keep going anyway because so many people are waiting. I believe that those who have been touched by a near-death experience can pass on the message. There is light and love, not only darkness and the grave, but beyond this earthly life, there is true life. Yes, true life. At the IANS conference in Orlando last year, we came to the realization that we need to start working with all those persons who have had near-death experiences. We can assemble all those who have lived through near-death experiences and help them to attain the level at which they can have faith and trust in themselves, so that they can believe that what they experienced is truly light, and that they need to share it with others. I am continuing on my path, accepting all invitations to speak with people without being forward in any way. I have visited hospitals, schools, a blacksmith workshop, churches, mosques, and even prisons. When in South Africa, I found the greatest treasure, speaking with young inmates on death row, who after listening to my talk, came to me, hugged me, and said that for the remaining time of their lives, maybe just a few years, they would try to live a worthy life as human beings. They promised, saying, "Yes, Baba, We shall live this way from now on. What strength and joy I received from them, which motivates me to keep going on my path.
Hogy áttöleltek és azt mondták, hogy a hátralévő életükben, ami még van hátra pár év,
I need to continue on this path. But what is the goal? That you, and you, wherever you find yourself, where you live, just take a look around you. Take notice of how many people are drowning in their sorrow, filled with sadness. Bring them light, a smile. The purpose is not to cure everyone right away. That is not the point. What we need to do is to give everyone the chance to recognize that they are humans and were born to live a life worthy of a human being. And that's what I can do, to give people a chance.
Nem kell rögtön mindjárt mindenkit meggyógyítani. Nem, erről szó sincs. Arról van szó, hogy
that each human being should discover the value of a smile and of love, that they should appreciate kind words and the wonder of magical words like thank you, I love you, and I'm sorry. Maybe with the use of these words and living by them, we can lead ourselves towards making this a nicer world. How many people are not just feeling this, being aware of their gifts, but act by doing good deeds?
Ez a szavak használatával vagy megélésével el tudunk jutni oda.
I call upon all of you to choose the path of good deeds, not just for the sake of others, but for your sake. What can I accomplish? Look at me. I'm not afraid of death, although a pacemaker keeps me living. Doctors ask me, how come you're still alive? Yes, I am alive, and the motivation which keeps me going is that I love you. My life has meaning now, and I'm not alone. I can honestly say that I'm among companions, among people, young people, and my spouse, who all live the joy of love and of giving. So if at all possible, if you can take that step, just do it. The first step is the hardest. You are inspired to keep doing good for others by just seeing the other person's radiance and smile. The darker the world gets around us, the brighter your heart and all of your hearts should become. We can reach each other from heart to heart, but if you were touched by the light and you know that there is life after death, and that is where life begins, then prove it with good deeds and do it better than me, since I am just a simple human being. Do it better than me. Did you get an education? Then do it better. Do you have greater talents, greater opportunities? Then do it better, and you will improve yourself, not for me and not me. So prove to yourself that you are capable of doing just that. I love you, and it is the power of love which has brought me here and guides me forward. But you know what? Let's make a deal. Since you have greater abilities and more love, so then move forward. Do me a small favor. Help me. I can't reach everyone, so you go and spread the word. Tell people that they are living human beings. Live as a human being and feel that you are worthy of happiness. Yes, people were born to be happy, so spread the message. Thank you.